we gotta be careful when we hear about the failures of appointed leaders, that we don't open our mouth up and let Facebook bring a curse on us. It's time to cover our leaders. What you say? Be careful. What you say? Be careful. What you say?
Do we ask too much because we want church leaders to not be adulterers? Do we ask too much? Do we ask too much because we want church leaders to not be pedophiles? Do we ask too much because we want church leaders to not be homosexuals, having sex with members of the choir? Perhaps we ask way too much. Something to think about, right? Do we ask too much? Creflo says we should stop talking about ratified church leadership on Facebook. Creflo wants us to be careful. Creflo says leaders who have train wrecks are still appointed by God. Creflo says there's a Facebook curse for talking about and exposing false prophets. Dollar Bill Creflo has some nerve trying to put a curse on people. Dumb Creflo-isms that do not line up with the Word of God. Donkey mistake. Appointed authority. Obey all they say. Lies. Creflo and pastors like him love to go back to the Old Testament to support their manipulative witchcraft tomfoolery. These are not the days of King David, who had a man murdered and married the man's wife but remained king. We are in the New Testament. Church leaders should be blameless. Maybe not, right? Maybe being the blameless husband of one wife is impossible. Maybe not being a homosexual pastor is impossible. Maybe not being a pedophile pastor is impossible. Do we ask too much? Do we ask too much? Because we want our leaders to not be adulterers, not be pedophiles, and not be homosexuals having sex with men or women in the choir. Maybe we are just asking too much of church leadership. And maybe the church and the doctrine these church leaders preach has no power. For them, do we ask too much? Do we ask too much?
Be careful.
Do we ask too much? Do we ask too much?
Come on! What you really want? What you really want?
Church folk, revolution.
Come on! What you really want? What you really want?
Truth. Tell the truth.
Come on! What you really want? What you really want?
This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential
Come
area.
on! What you really want? What you really want?